Well, there we are. We are live, I believe. It says we're live. Hopefully you're joining me for a cup of coffee. I've got a little bit of strangeness going on with the green screen. You can see, I don't know what to do about that. The picture behind me is late May Centre of Horseback Combat. This is our horse archery track. Oh, look, if I just bob out the way here, oh, you can see our horse archery track. I'm just disappearing there. That's a horse archery track that we get it to that lovely condition every year, lay down a bit more sand, get the land harrowed and rolled by NB Contracting. If anybody has got paddock maintenance to do, Nick from NB Contracting is your man, if you're in Hertfordshire. Yeah, we get it all looking lovely. This particular photo was taken when we went to Jordan. So we left for Jordan, I think it was the first week of April. There was no leaves on the trees. Everything was horrible. And then we came back and everything was absolutely beautiful. So I thoroughly recommend going away in the spring and coming back with everything's nice. But we'll soon be there. Don't you agree? I hope you agree. Oh, I just got to move this light a little bit so I can see. Yes, some people are watching. Thank you very much. Hello. Stick a little hello in the comments. Make sure that you can hear me. Make sure that I know that you can hear me. Ah, thank you, Julia. There. It's not a lovely land at the moment, but it's just getting ready for it. How are you doing? Are you getting ready for spring? It's not long now. 4 weeks of February, and what are we on now? 1 week of January. 5 weeks. 5 weeks. Let's get going. Afternoon, Evie. Thanks for coming. Hello, Meg. Hello, Sam. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Just having a cup of tea. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments. Ask me anything. I don't care. I'll try and make a bit more effort to read the comments. I do get caught on a subject and go gossiping away, and I forget to let anybody else have a go. But there we go. Here we go. Anyway, so first of all, housekeeping. What's going on? The subscribers page is now defunct. So if you're in the subscribers page still, if you go onto the subscribers page, it will give you instructions how to unsubscribe, and we're scrapping that because the social media platform that I'm using doesn't offer any support. People couldn't get on. People made a people didn't make a mess, sorry. The Book of Face made a mess and wouldn't help me sort it out. So there you are, that's all finished. I'm going to set up a new one. So it's actually, the page itself was fantastic. We had quite a few people in, lovely conversations going. I could see how it was the thing that I want to do. It's get this community going. If I could take you all back 20 years with me and you could do the things I've done and have the conversations that I'd have, then you would be so confident on horses, because it's so doable and they're so doable and it's possible and it's all possible and it's possible for you, and all you have to do is take it in bite sizes. Don't be brave if you've trained, and there we are. So I want to build that community. Lovely. Yes, so if you're in the old subscribers page, you better get out of it, because I'm not putting anything else on. I'm going to set it was only the payment platform that was a pain. Now, if I'm going to actually dedicate some of my time, then it has to be a paid thing. Otherwise, I won't feel the responsibility to get on here and give regular amounts of content. As you know from this page, I can disappear for a month, and then you're like, oh, I wondered where you've been. Do you still exist? And it's like, yeah, sorry, I was busy. So that's where the monetary value comes in. I will make that commitment. One of the commitments that I'm quite happy to make, because it's good fun, is a regular live at 5, which currently will be on Friday afternoons. Pretty much what we're doing now. I could call it live at 5. I could call it Ask Me Anything. But yeah, so that'll be good. And I'm perfectly willing to commit to that. So that'll be good. Have you all got a coffee? By the way, can I get you one? Get you one coffee. Okay, get yourselves coffee. Don't be brave, be well trained is our mantra here. Let me put that up in lights. I think on my rider confidence course, that's the sentence that initially nobody believes. When I go, we're not brave. We're not brave. Simon's not brave. I'm not brave. We're like, yeah, right. But we're not. We're well trained as we go on to show people through the day. And you can get incredibly well trained at things. And when you get to that little bite-sized step where you do have to find that bit of courage to get along that step, make sure it's a bite-size that the part of your brain that deals with panic and fight and flight has the processing power of a 7-year-old. So you only need be as brave as your 7-year-old can put up with, because it's a very primitive part of your brain. So when you're nervous, break it down into bite-sized steps. And when you do need to find that bit of oomph, the phrase that I use is, I've done my training. It's going to be fine. I've done my training. It's going to be fine. I've done my training. Let me give you an example. When we went to Liverpool Arena, Echo Arena, massive venue. And as we drove off from our stables to go to Liverpool, it was all going through my head. Oh, what if the horses don't go in? What if they don't do it? What if? So there you go. It happens to me as well. It will always happen to you. If you are going to progress in any way, you will always come up against the next step and the next step. And when I came to the next step was this massive indoor venue that was more like a rock stadium than anything else, on a very, very prestigious show. Obviously, I'm a little bit nervous, and my what ifs start going. What if the horses don't go into the arena? What if they don't do the gig? What if they don't do the trick riding? What if? And the answer was, I've done my training. I had done my training. We'd trained the horses. We'd taken them to other shows. We'd hired Bury Farm, which is just down the road, which was the same size arena, and we took them in and we made sure that the timing was right and everything else. And we played some loud music and we turned on the disco lights and they were okay. And we did the fire and we did the fireworks and we'd done it. We'd done the training. Of course, my what ifs are still going because I'm nervous, obviously. It's a big gig. But my comfort was, I've done my training. That's it. Of course, if you haven't done your training, that's not really going to help you. If you're going up to 1.20 meter jumping, and you can say to yourself, yeah, I've been doing 110 for the last 3 months. I've done my training. But of course, if you haven't been doing your 110, then you've got nothing to fall back on. But there we are. Did you get your coffee, by the way? Sarah's got a tea. We like that. Anyway. Yeah, it's funny that we've got onto this subject straight away. I didn't intend to. I'm still doing my housekeeping as far as I remember. Just saying, let's get onto the subscribers page. Okay, so the subscribers page is going to be, or it was, a fantastic little community where we chat like professionals, finding the solutions rather than finding the nerves and the negativity. And the only problem was the payment gateway. So I'm going to just do a one-page website where you can do PayPal, because also nobody trusts Facebook. I don't even trust Facebook. If someone was to write to me and go, I've seen your subscribers page and I'm just a little bit funny about signing up to Facebook, I'd have nothing to say, but yeah, they're rubbish. So I'm not terribly happy to be asking you to sign up to Facebook. So I am quite happy with PayPal. I've used PayPal for a long time, so I'm going to do a one-page website, join the subscribers group, and your subscribe, your monthly payment will go to PayPal, who will administrate it. I trust them. They've got a good support team if there's any problems. Have you ever used PayPal support? I mean, for a big company, they're quite on it. You write off and you're going, I'm having this problem, and they sort it out straight away. So that's really nice. So that's what we're going to do. Lots of Ask Me Anythings and Live at Fives like this. How-to videos, a copy of my book, a downloadable copy, and a copy of the audiobook, readers' questions, anything else you can think of. There you are. News from the farm. Anyway, yes, I'm doing my housekeeping. That's the state of the subscribers. I'm not the world's best webmaster, so I'm using Google Sites, and I think I can just do a one-page site quite happily. The Rider Confidence. Oh, this is very exciting. First Rider Confidence of the year will be taking place next Saturday or Sunday, next weekend. So that's very exciting. I wonder if I can remember what I say in my introduction. That always gets me every year. It's like, what am I saying? But there we are. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. If you're coming to the Rider Confidence, the dates are advertised a month in advance. So if you're coming, if you want, like, if your holiday time at work or whatever is in May, you're not coming May, you have to wait till April before you can book yourself, find the dates in May. This is because when we're working in films and shows for that matter, that they're all now. You don't hear from them for ages, and then they're like, yes, can you come out in 4 weeks time? Juggle the diary. So what I don't want to be doing is booking people in May now, and then through March and April, some film comes in and says, we want to book you for a week in May. And then we're writing to people going, oh, you know that course that you were looking forward to? We've decided not to do it because something else has come up. It just doesn't look good. So generally, we know when we're in April, we know what's happening in May. So we can faithfully put out the dates with a bit of integrity. So that's why it's a month in advance. But anyway, we're off. So we're off as of next weekend, which is absolutely super. The online confidence course. So I got 2 confidence courses. One is a one-day rider confidence course. Come to the stables and get on our stunt horses and learn to rear and learn to fall and learn what to do if the horse falls over, and learn what to do if you lose your balance, what to do if it spins, what to do if you find yourself being shot out of the saddle. We're using stunt horses. It's perfectly safe. We take it in bite sizes, the bite sizes that your 7-year-old can deal with, so that you don't have to be brave, but you go away feeling very trained. And of course, we also talk a bit about the mindset, because it's all this what-ifing and listening to other people about how dangerous horses are, and they can smell when you're frightened, and they will get hurt on horses. They're just waiting to kick your head in. Did you know they can hear your heartbeat from 6 fields away, and all that sort of thing? Just makes people feel as though they're sitting on a bomb. But quite honestly, professional people simply do not talk like that. They simply don't. Because it's a lot more solution focused when it's your job. So there we go. So we do a certain amount about mindset, but nowhere near enough. 90% of that day is about changing your mindset, changing what comes out of here and what goes in there, because that's why we've got a problem in the first place. We touch on it. People do get transformation. We talk about how our minds work, but of course we've only got a day and we've got all these physical exercises to get on with, so we've got to be quite quick about it, and we just sort of like scoot through. undoubtedly that's 90%. You're changing your mindset is the 90%. And really, the physical exercises that everybody thinks is the woo, they've seen it on the adverts that you're rearing and falling off. That's all the woo, woo, woo. It's not. It's so simple. The physical exercises are a very obvious way of saying, see, told you it worked. Easy technique. You're not going to get hurt if you do this. That's it. So that's how the second Rider Confidence course came about, which is a deep dive into the mindset. If you then want to come and do the day Rider Confidence course, the 1 day Rider Confidence course here, and learn how to cope with rears and falls and spins and that's all jolly good, because that's not what's holding you back. Not knowing how to rear isn't what's holding you back. What's holding you back is everything that's gone in here over the last 30 years, over 20 livery yards, each with 30 people, all going, oh, horses can tell when you're frightened. And everything that's come out of here. Oh, did you see that? You see that lady in Facebook? Her horse jumped out of bed and her head came off. All of that came out of here. All of that goes in here. And the online course, 3 months worth of changing your mindset, understanding what your mind does, how you represent yourself, your self-image, your self-assertiveness, your horsemanship, your timekeeping, your money, your weight, your fitness, all the decisions that you want to do in life. Every excuse that I've ever heard over the last 20 years of hundreds of thousands of conversations with nervous riders, every excuse as to why people aren't getting on their horse. And we dig it out and we have a good look at it and we make sure it doesn't apply to you. And that's for 3 months with weekly chats from me over Zoom and other members of the course. And of course, it's entirely your mental outlook on everything. We cover depression, stress, anxiety, of course, NLP, hypnosis. It's all backed up with hypnosis sessions. It's deep. It's deep, but it does get that change of mindset that you need. Not only with your horse riding, but with all those other things as well. The emails that you didn't get back to and the phone calls that you need to do and all the mental disciplines there. I've gone off subject now. Yes. So if I go back to the subject, yes, the Rider Confidence Day courses are starting here next week. The online 3-month super deep dive mindset Rider Confidence course, the Mountain Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, is open for the January intake. So I'll put the link somewhere around here and you can read all about that. If you don't believe it, you can read it and you can see the testimonials. Next bit of housekeeping. Housekeeping's going on a lot. I'll just look through the comments and say hello to everybody. The Gallop track, that's a good point, Julia. I call this my horse archery track, but of course we've got the Confident to Canter course coming on. This is the track, the Confident to Canter course. Look at me disappearing there, like the spirit of the trees. The Confident to, it's good, that track. Confident to Canter track is that track. Our horses, I'll bob that away now. Our horses have been running up and down this track since we got here. February 2013. It's our 10-year anniversary for being here. Honestly, those horses are not going to do anything else other than run up and down that track. So if you're coming on the Confident to Canter course, the first day is the Rider Confidence course, because I don't want you going up and down this perfectly safe track on perfectly safe horses, still thinking, what if I fall off? What if it rears? What if it spins? So we'll do that on the first day. So you know then, if I fall off, then I'll do this. If it rears, then I'll do this. If it spins, then I'll do this. And we've got that down pat, and we've got a set of practical skills. which means all we need then do is get over the little block, which is it's the transition into canter. Now, part of the problem with canter transitions is when you're trying to learn them in a school, as soon as you get into the transition, along comes a corner, and now you've got to do some steering. Well, you haven't really got time to sort yourself out because you're only learning, and before there's another corner. So if you want to get rid of the corners, then you go out to the field. Well, now we've got the what if it bolts a million miles over the field and I'm never seen again, or something, you know, that kind of agoraphobic thing. This here, this canter track, which way am I going? This canter track, perfect. You see, it's got fence on either side, so the horse isn't going to go anywhere. It's just going to go to the end and stop as it has, so there's no chance of it bolting off into the blue yonder. It's not going to run any further than it has to. We've got a variety of speeds, so if you already can canter, but you're just a bit too afraid to, you know, open the throttle and have the wind in your hair, well, we've got a variety of speeds. You've got some horses you can set at different speeds. It's such a useful thing. You can get the transition. The horses, they don't need steering. They don't need, so you can initially you can forget about having to keep your mind in your hands because the corner's coming up and you need to keep contact. You can just hang on to the saddle, hang on to the mane, be as frightened as you like. Just get used to the motion, and then you can gently pick up the contact. Okay, this is how it all goes. And that's nice. If you're going to come to the Confident to Canter camp, then it does have to be the correct bite size. So you are able to trot confidently everywhere. Because if you're not able to trot confidently everywhere, it's not time for you to be pushing through to canter. You've still got a season trotting around everywhere, which is fun. So let's do that. There we are. So I think that's it for the housekeeping. There we are. There we are. If you want to see what's available in terms of my hypnosis and such like, I've got 2 hypnosis and a book and various things. Simply go to carlgreenwood.co.uk and you can purchase those. There we are. That's the end of the housekeeping. Let's say hello to everybody. Got a little bit of coffee left. I should have put it in a thermal mug. I know this when I talk, coffee goes cold. Hello. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, it is true. So this change in thinking, let me just show it. So what Evie's just said. Ah, hi Carl. That wasn't Evie, that's Jane. Hello. It was definitely the changes in how I thought that made the real difference after the one-day course. So interestingly, did you see that last week or the week before? We went to the Household Cavalry to teach their new trainees how to fall safely. And that was super interesting because I caught myself saying to these, now when I say new trainees, they're new trainees. They're 5 weeks into it. And most of the, I think 2 out of the 10 hadn't seen a horse till 5 weeks ago. And now they're on these horses in the indoor arena, and we're just teaching them so that when they fall off, they're not going to get hurt. And I was saying to them that if you want to keep the professional mindset, let's put it like that. If you want to keep the professional mindset that it's all possible, it's possible for you, and all you need to do is take it in bite-sized steps. And that's it. Well, the good thing for them is that the bite-sized steps are already arranged by centuries of instruction in this very discipline by their instructors. So when it's your job like that, you don't, I mean, you as leisure riders, you've got an added burden that when it's like, okay, it's possible, right? Whatever my goal is, it's possible. A, it's possible. B, it's possible for me. C, bite-sized steps, break it all down. Now you've got to come up with a plan of bite-sized steps and break it all down, which is a lot of hassle. These trainees, they didn't have to come up with that plan. That's been done for them. All they have to do is stay in the professional mindset. Because, of course, when they're trainees and they've been frightened, the first thing they want to do is talk about how frightened they are, talk about how frightening it is, talk about how scary the horses are. Then they'll soon get on to how dangerous the horses are. They'll already be starting to say that the horses can smell when you're frightened and can smell adrenaline and all stuff like that. And they get into this little frame of reference that a lot of the leisure industry do suffer from, all the what ifs and all such like, all that feeling that you're sitting on a bomb because you've thought about some accident that somebody told you about, or somebody simply imagined, someone imagined an accident and told their friends. There we are. And you can get in this little negativity that horses are just waiting to kick your head in, and they will get that because they're new to it. Now, the interesting thing is that they're going to end up being in the household cavalry. That mindset will change through professionalism because they've got no choice. By the time you've done your training, done your ceremonies, been up and down the mole after the Queen's funeral and the King's coronation and sentry duty and everything else, you'll realise that negative leisure industry way of thinking is just flat wrong. It's just wrong. That's not what happens. When you get into it properly, that's not what happens. It's almost 180 degrees different. So these guys and girls are going to come to that realization anyway, just through experience, just through life. But fortunately, because I can pop along at 5 weeks in a day, I can get them to make that switch, and that'll just save them an enormous amount of time. And when you know it's possible for me, I just take it in the bite sizes that my instructor has already arranged. Then when the horse does something in the arena, I don't know, skips out or spooks or something, instead of freezing in that, oh, horses hurt people, sitting up and or whatever your instructor's, I know what he's going to be saying. He's going to be saying, sit up, heels down, push your right leg on so it doesn't crash into the wall, keep a contact, chin up, look where you're going, all those sort of things. You'll be able to do those because you're not spending your time going, what have I for? Horses hurt people. It can smell my adrenaline. It's going to explode now because it knows that I'm frightened. It can feel me trembling. It's going to explode. Yeah, because nobody cold ever rode a horse. No one ever got cold and shivery and ever rode a horse without it exploding. Nobody with Parkinson's has ever ridden a horse. Anyway, yeah, so I can just really help get that professional mindset. And there we are. Super cool. Let's have a little look at I've been on a long time actually. If anyone's got any questions, stick in the comments. I'll just I'm going to make a bit more of an effort to actually read the comments. Generally, I just gossip and then shut the page and then read them afterwards. Do I work one-to-one with people? I used to, but then fact is, it works so well. The Rider Confidence course works so well that if I get a specialist, if I get a sports person who's at the top of the game and there's no common correlation with the other people, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and take a whole group into how to get down the Hickstead Bank. So yeah, I do one-to-one if people are particularly what's the word I'm looking for? Specialised. That's the word. People are particularly specialised to the point where it doesn't relate. But in terms of confidence, if it's confidence on horses, come to the one-day course because it works so well. If it's confidence in everything, if it's that kind of like my personality isn't working to the fullest of my potential, then 100% sign on to the Ultimate Rider Confidence online. It's as close to one-to-one as you can get with it still having the support of a group. Because I meet everybody every week on a Zoom call. Yeah, I think that's my answer there. No. Hey, Ruth can get confidently in the arena again. Super. I lost my confidence after a fall. This is interesting. I get a lot of people. This isn't what you said, by the way, Ruth. So you just reminded me of something. Yeah, a lot of people say I've had a bad accident and lost my confidence. In fact, I had a groom say it the other week she was going to come and work here. I've told this story before. I had a bad accident. And I was like, oh, now, just between you and me, if anybody wants to say I've had a bad accident, there better be an air ambulance involved. If there's not an air ambulance involved, it's just an accident. So anyway, this groom says, she jumped on the horse and I was like, are you nervous of horses? And she was like, oh, well, I am quite nervous of horses. I had a bad accident. And I was like, oh, and in my hand, there better be a bloody air ambulance in there. And it's like, oh, what happened? Oh. Well, I went around the corner and I fell off and I hit the arena fence. I was like, oh. And then I'm trying to think of a way, because the thing is, if it was a bad accident, and there was air ambulances, I don't want to be poo-pooing it because that's rude. You know, they've got something to tell me and we could have a good conversation. Anyway, so I said, oh, well, never mind. At least you got to ride in an ambulance, because I thought that was the quickest way to get to it. She was like, oh, no, I wasn't hurt. I said, oh, was the horse hurt then? No, the horse wasn't hurt. So not only was it not a bad accident, it wasn't even an accident. It was a fall. I had a fall. But of course, I had a fall. Doesn't sound nearly as good as I had a bad accident. I had a fall. But there we are. Back to these guys in the indoor school in the army who are learning to ride and they're 5 weeks in. What you need to realise is that the reason why they're in the indoor school is so that because they're new, if they fall off, they're in a safe environment. You do have to learn, you do need it to go wrong sometimes so that you can learn that it's fine to go wrong. Falling in the indoor school, who's seen the household cab when one of them falls off at a parade? Yeah, and they have to do the clunking walk of shame, and you see it as on the telly sometimes, and there's a horse clearing off on its own. That's not the safest way to learn that when it goes wrong, you can be all right. The safest way to learn when it goes wrong, you can be all right, is to be in an indoor arena with your instructors right round you so they can shout what you should do. Sit up, put your heels down, look where you're going, keep your mind in your hands, steer your horse, keep your left leg on. And that's what it's for. That's what it's for. We do have falls sometimes. It's fine. You fall down the stairs sometimes. It's fine. And then, yes, there's a bit of bad luck, but then there's a bit of bad luck in everything, isn't there? I've told this story before and all. Somebody said they phone me up and they say, Carl, I'm not coming to the rider confidence course. I've smashed in my shoulder. I've got to have reconstructive surgery. The doctor says that I'm not going to ride a horse for at least 8 weeks, so I'm not coming. And I thought, that's fair enough. She said, I did it walking into a door. It's funny, really. The amount of times I've been worried about horses and the accidents I'll have on horses, worst injury I've ever had was walking into a door. Whereupon I said, are you now scared of doors? And you know what? She wasn't. She wasn't. There we are. There we are. We can just build these up. Yes, you fall off sometimes. Usually it's a bit, rub your bum, bit of that, bit of that. And that's usually the end of it. Yes, there's a bit of bad luck, and if you've been lucky enough to actually get hurt and get an air ambulance, there you are. But that's normally not what happens at all. And this is what the trainees need to learn, that it's fine. It's fine. Most of the time, most of the time, with no special training, no special equipment, no hats, no back protectors, no nothing, it's fine. 2,000 years of horse riding in every costume you could possibly imagine over history has shown that it's usually fine. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 9 billion of us on the planet. Or however many there are. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Oh, this is interesting. I have an issue with a lack of control, which is where my fear stems from. Well, I'd be frightened as well if I had an issue with a lack of control. There we are. The answer is don't have an issue with a lack of control. You've either got control or you haven't. So what are you saying? Are you saying that your horse is dangerous? And if it's badly trained, and if it's a green horse, and if you're a relatively green rider, then yeah, there is an issue there. What are you saying? What do you mean a lack of control? Now, if what you're saying is that your horse is dangerous and just piles off and there's absolutely nothing you can do, I would have a fear of that as well. Don't ask me to get on it. The horse hasn't been trained. The horse might be dangerous, and if the horse is dangerous and everyone says it's dangerous, you're not going to have a good result. There we are. Usually they're not, though. When people phone up for the ultimate right, gosh, I'm going on. But there we are. This is what my life is made of, and I find it so interesting that I just keep going. When people phone up and they have the lack of control fear, it's like, is your horse dangerous? And I've never had somebody say yes. I've had somebody say, ultimately come to the conclusion that it's too green for them and they need to pay someone to get it in and get it going, and to get some lessons on that horse. And yes, that just means money out of your pocket because the horse was green. There you go. So you did have a lack of control. Usually the horse isn't dangerous. Where is the comment? I have an issue with a lack of control. So the question is, do you have an issue with a lack of control? And if so, why? Horse is dangerous, horse is badly trained, horse is grossly mismatched to you, as in you'd quite like a little plod called Bob, and this horse is a fire-breathing dragon turning itself inside out, which some people like, in which case sell that horse to some people who like that sort of thing and get yourself a nice little horse called Bob. Most people, when they say a fear of lack of control and you bring it down to it and you say, is this horse dangerous? They say no. And they say, is it out of control? And one little mental trick is like, when it's time to give the horse a bit of a push, get your leg on and say, if the horse goes along and it's just kind of like, oh, what's that? And it just backs off a bit. And that's the time for you to assert control, tell the horse what you do want, get on. And you've got a fear of lack of control. And you're not sure if the horse would explode if you gave it that little extra kick. Well, the answer is, if you then got off in your mind's eye got an instructor on who's super confident, and they go, the horse is super confident, get on, don't be such a stupid lad, get on, brr. Would the horse explode? And invariably they say no, it wouldn't. So it's nothing to do with the horse exploding. It's nothing to do with the horse's temperament, unless it is, in which case get rid. It's to do with having a fear of lack of control, which is different to having an issue with lack of control. So are you talking about having a fear, which isn't true? Well, we can work out, if that is the case, we can work up to that in bite sizes. Do the bite sizes. If you've got a fear of something which isn't true, this is where we have to break things down into bite sizes that our 7-year-old panicky part of our brain can cope with. So you perhaps, for example, you're too scared to put your leg on because your 7-year-old is like, oh, it's too much for me. But perhaps if somebody else rode it to the point where it was absolutely knackered, you would feel, you can tell it's not going anywhere, and you'd feel a little bit more encouraged to do 5 minutes at the end yourself. That might be your bite size for your 7-year-old panic part of your brain. You've got to genuinely imagine, if I had 7-year-old me here, what would I do that this kid could manage? And if I, as an adult, was riding quite confidently around on this horse, and it's like, there, our horse is knackered now, it's ready to go. And then you'd say to little 7-year-old Sarah, go on, get on and just ride past. And if he looks at the gate, just put your leg on and say, get on, and assert yourself. You could, 7-year-old could do that. If I've not been clear in that illustration, then I'll try again. Try again at another date. There we are. Monica, don't worry about that. Monica's worried that she's missed half of it. You can watch it on replay. I'm going to leave it on the page. There. This is what I want to do for. Oh look, my green screen's coming out. This is what I want to do for the new subscribers page, which I think I will call Enjoy Your Horse Club. If you can think of a better title, put it in. But I think it's going to be called Enjoy Your Horse Club. Monica, obviously you were in the original subscribers page, which congratulations that you even got in. A lot of people didn't manage to. I'm in the process of making a new website with a payment which will go to PayPal, who do have a good support system and are much more trustworthy than the Book of Face, and I'll sort it out. But yes, we will have live Ask Me Anythings live at 5 on a Friday afternoon, I think, and it'll be good. Okay, lovely. My issue is whether I have the skill to ride the pacing and then the transition to canter. I actually love the speed. So it's a transition thing. If we're in a conversation on the phone, I'd say, well, have you got the skill to ride the pacing and the transition to canter? Do you know what you're doing or not? Because if you don't, if you genuinely, have I got that skill, or am I a bit clumpy in my bum, or pulling too tight, or well, that's super. If you haven't got the knowledge to the level that you need, that just means put your hand in your pocket, get some instructors, get 2 or 3, and one of them will explain it in a way that you are. If I'm saying, have you got the skill and the transition to canter, and you're like, actually, I do know what I'm doing. Yes. Well, we're away then. It's just a matter of breaking it down in bite-sized steps that your 7-year-old can deal with, which is what we're going to do on this canter track behind me. Let me just show that again. There. That's the track for a confident canter. So you got, I mean, it takes up to 20 seconds to run up there, and that's slow. It's like you've got plenty of time to get yourself sorted out. The transition obviously comes at the start. The wonderful thing about this canter track is that You don't have to steer the horses, so you don't have to think of lots of things. You just have to think, what does this transition feel like? What does this canter feel like? Rinse and repeat, super easy, nice day in the sun. You can do that. So cool. I missed one. Where is it? Susan. Horse can't canter in the arena. So my plan is to find a straight track in Thetford Forest to try it on. He won't go too far if I come off, as he's not that thick. Well, I wouldn't find a straight track in Thetford Forest. I would find a gallops or somewhere more enclosed. I'd take somebody with me with this. Well, you can see what I'd do. Hang on, let me just get rid of that. Let me just pop that away again. What I do is I'd make this. You don't have to have sand in it. It's only made out of string and posts. And actually, if you go on YouTube and you put Confident to Canter, and it's called something like Stupidly Easy, on the Carl Greenwood YouTube channel, you can see exactly what I do to build up my confidence. But I'm certainly not brave enough to go off into Thetford Forest and just find a track and give it a try. Maybe you're a lot braver than me. We all have to go according to what our 7-year-olds can deal with. On the plus side, if that was possible for me, which is not, but never mind, it would be because my 7-year-old will be saying, I can do this. I'm not going to come off. I'm just going to be a bit worried. It'll be fine. Which it will. Which it will. There we are. There we are. Let's just put down and see if we've got any more. Somebody having fun describing their accident. Guys, every time I talk about horses isn't the time for you to start equimisering about, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to someone I thought of. Yes, we know, just in the same way that we know when cars crash and planes crash, it does happen. But guys, if you want to take, oh, talking about horses, time to talk about that time that my sister got hurt or I got hurt or whatever. Go to the Nervous Rider pages. I don't want you here. This isn't the thing we're going to focus on because that is the 0.0001% of time when it goes wrong. According to the law of averages, it's just there's danger in buying shoes. If you buy a pair of shoes and you open it up, there's a little packet of silica gel. And what does it say on silica gel? Do not eat, because somebody somewhere, air ambulance to hospital. There you are. I'm going to get rid of that comment. How do I get rid of it? Oh, here's my accident. Delete that. Honestly, guys, go to the Rider Confidence pages. They want to hear about all that. Oh, there we are. Horses say find out my ability. Get some lessons. There we are. Or is it that you don't doubt your ability, but you don't believe in your ability? This is quite an important point. If I was to say to you, Sarah Marshall, horses say I doubt my ability. If I was to say to you, do you doubt your ability? Do you know what you're doing or not? And the answer is going to be yes or no. If you're self-aware and you're going, I do know what I'm doing. So you don't doubt your ability at all. You doubt your self-belief. Your belief in yourself isn't there, which we can work on in bite-sized steps to make sure that we don't overwhelm the 7-year-old life. If you're very self-aware and you're like, I do doubt my ability. I've only been riding 2 years. This horse is a bit hot for me, and I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. Well, that's easy to solve as well with an instructor. It's like, I'm going to pay 3 different instructors, and we're going to get some sort of information out of there. Sarah B says she still gets nervous. You're going to, guys, you are not going to float around in a cloud of confidence ever, unless you are seriously operating below your abilities. If you want to progress, from jumping ankle height poles to knee height poles to waist height poles, you will be nervous when you make those steps up. It's the same process. How do I cope with those nerves? How do I work through them? Because for as long as you're progressing, they will never stop, and nor should they, because we're increasing our skill set. Don't ask for less nerves, ask for more skills. I promise you, Charlotte Desjardins is bricking it when she looks at the Olympic arena, because it's just how we are if we're going to move on. If you don't want to get nervous, lower what you're doing. If you can trot a circle quite happily, then walk in the arena and you won't be nervous. If you want your nerves to get used to the next level, if you can trot quite happily but you get nervous at canter, well, we need to bring that in. So now you need to be looking at jumping just a little bit, because you don't want to scare yourself. Because if you ever want to get comfortable at canter, then you're going to have to be able to do the next level up. If you're comfortable at walking and you're comfortable at trotting, okay, comfy, you're nervous of canter but can do it, let me say that, not you're nervous of canter, you are becoming used to canter. Let's say like that. Becoming used to canter. I'm okay at canter. I'm comfortable trotting, but I'm okay at canter. The reason why you're comfortable at trotting is because you're okay at canter, because you're willing to move up. And when you've been cantering for a season, and it's like, actually, I'm okay at canter. I'm getting okay with gallop, but I'm okay at canter, and I'm super okay at trotting. See how it works? You will always be overcoming your nerves if you want to progress and get more experiences. But the fact that we know that we can overcome our nerves, and this is the way to overcome your nerves, realize that, my green screen's all going weird. Realize that it's possible. It's possible for you, and all you have to do is take each step up in little bite sizes that the 7-year-old you could stand, because that's how the panic or fight and flight part of our brain works. It has the processing power of a 7-year-old, whether you are 7, 107, 77. There we are. There we are. Nothing wrong with being nervous. Confidence is not the absence of adrenaline. I'll say that again. Confidence is not the absence of adrenaline. When my horse sees the cow and it rears up and puts its feet over the fence, I am not sitting in a cloud of confidence going, oh, it's all right, I'm really confident, floating off. No, shut myself. Of course I do, just like everybody else. But it's only because it's my job that I know that I'm familiar with getting out of situations that are a bit much. But you doing your job, whatever your job is, you get yourself in situations, something happens and you're the one to deal with it, that I don't know your job, and I'd be nervous doing the most simplest of things. You'd be like, oh, it's fine. There we are. There we are. You ain't going to ever float around in a cloud of confidence for as long as you're trying something new. No, that's wrong, actually, because in that example, you do float around in a cloud of confidence at trot, because you're getting used to canter. You know what I mean. Still true now. Oh, this is all a bit. So this is a very black comment. Very black comment here. So a bit of a black conversation happening between you two. You're getting a bit miserable. Sadly, things in our mind aren't as easy to shift. Lack of confidence, struggling, conquering. Nervous rider pages. It's possible. It's possible for you. All you have to do is break it down into bite sizes. Never mind. Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it. Eventually, that especially conquer. People talking about conquering canter. You're just going to run around a little bit. That's it. I'm going to go and have a little run around. What's happening with the screen? I'm just going to go and have a little run around. You don't have to conquer canter at all. I'm going to learn how to run around a bit. Yeah. Anyway. Lovely. So, anyway, I've got to get going. Guilty as charged. Thank you, Monica. Here's Susie back again. Okay, so I do know what I'm doing, but maybe I'll find canter track somewhere before trying to think. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? How when you get to it, do you know what you're doing or not? And the answer is, well, actually, now you mentioned it, I do. Can I persuade that green screen to stop? No, I can't. Oh, here we go again. If I could jump ankle high, I'd be happy. I don't believe you. I don't believe that when you first got a horse, if you've got any passion for jumping, it's like, oh, I want to jump ankle high. If you've got a passion for jumping, it's like, I'd love to go and do some jumping. I'd love to go and do some jumping. I believe that your goal, if you've got any, I couldn't care less about jumping. I'm not a jumpy person, but there we are. I can sort of jump. Not very well. I jump in a stunty kind of way. You've got to be jumping over fire or doing a headstand or something, but there we are. But yes, I believe that people state their goals as vastly understated, with limitations put in due to a negative outlook. I believe that you want to, I believe that if Sarah B, I might be wrong, but I believe that if I waved my magic wand and all your nerves were gone, all of them, what would you do? What would you jump then? And I'm sure you say, if all my nerves were gone by magic, Expelliarmus Noversae, I believe you'd be like, oh God, I'd love to jump that round at Oak Farm. I'd love to jump one of those. What I really want to do is go hunting. Well, I just think that's right. So I don't believe that if you jumped ankle high, you'd be happy. I believe that if you jumped ankle high, you'd be happy you could jump ankle high, but I bet you'd want to jump knee high next. I bet you. We need to keep our goals nice and big. If your goal is big, then you can easily see the way to work. If your goal is big, so if your goal is, I want to go hunting, big hedges, whatever. You can see that the bite sizing down would be, first of all, learn to trot, then learn to canter, then in the arena, then learn to jump some little poles, then learn to canter outside, and you can see you build it up, build it up, build it up. When people put, if I could jump ankle high, I'd be happy, with a laughy face, that implies that you're not giving yourself your best potential. Now, I could be wrong, but it sounds like you're doing yourself down. Only you know this. You might put another comment on going, no, you don't understand, Carl. I really would be very happy if I jump ankle high. I don't want to do anything else. but I'm not sure. Our goals could be so much more. It's all possible. It's all possible. It's all possible for you, and all you have to do is bite it down in bite sizes. So going hunting or jumping a show jumping course is possible for you. It is possible, and all you need to do is break it down into the bite sizes. But that dream to be jumping a show jumping round would easily get you over the ankle high, the knee high, the thigh high, the waist high. It's all about your goals. My second hypnosis, which I'll do now, but I've got 2 hypnosis, and one of them is all about goals and how our fears and lack of confidence has whittled away at our goals, so that when we first got a horse, when we were a teenager working in the spa for £1 an hour, you first got a horse, people were like, what are you getting a horse for? Your answer wasn't, so I can go around the lanes every 6 weeks thinking, I hope I don't die. No, that wasn't it. It was like, oh, I'm going to go and ride on the beach with Black Beauty. I'm going to ride with the Whitakers or whatever. And then gradually you got talking to too many people in the leisure rider frame of reference, started talking about how horses can smell when you're frightened and it's the most dangerous hobby you can do and all that. And then you find that your goals witter away until any thought of doing a show jumping round has now turned into, well, I can't do anything now. That's what I think anyway. Sarah, please feel free to tell me I'm completely wrong. It's just an impression I got with the laughy emoji at the end. It indicates that you're not sincere and doing yourself down, but forgive me if I've got it wrong. Oh, it's nice and easy. Monica. There you are, your physical fitness is down. And look at the second sentence. Perfect. Working on it now. So there we go. Yeah, absolutely. But nice. You got to be self-aware about these things. If your physical fitness is down, then yeah, easy. No, simple. That's the word I'm looking for. Simple. Everything I've said today has been simple. But simple isn't easy. If you want to be rich, here's what you do. You earn less than you spend. It's the other way, isn't it? You spend less than you earn. Yeah, don't listen to me on your financial advice. But it's simple. If you want to lose weight, let me get this the right way around this time. You exercise more than you eat. Simple. But not easy. But it is simple. They are enough of those would you rathers. There we are. Oh, ask me anything. Yeah. How many horses do you have? Do you prefer any race? If you find your horse, what are you looking for mentally? So in my English. How many horses do we have? There's 18 here, of which 13 are 12 now. They keep moving. They keep moving around. It makes it very hard to count. We've got Toto, who's on his way out. He's about 116 years old. And then we've got Rango, who's on his way in. He's very young. Do you prefer any race? Yes, I like Andalusians. Well, I like Andalusians because they are super trainable. Very interested in what you're doing. They're very bright. They pick up things very easily. They seem particularly keen. But the problem is if you then don't stimulate that intelligence, they start going wrong and breaking out the fields and going down Tesco's and stealing cars and all sorts of trouble. Mentally, I like a horse that is interested in people rather than interested in other horses. Yeah. In terms of usability and steadfastness, Irish sports horse. They're solid, super solid. Not as flash, but not as quirky as a Andalusian. Okay, my goal would be 2 feet or so. Well, there you go. You said ankle high, didn't you? So you were doing yourself down. No desire to jump high. That's fair enough. And then just not feel sick when faced with a jump. Oh, that's a shame. That was quite a positive comment until the second half. Because the problem is, all I've got now, when I read your comment, all I can see, and more importantly, all your fear response sees is you feeling sicker to jump because you're the one that wrote it. You could equally have put it, very happy to jump at middle level, or very happy to keep it at 2 foot or so. And my ambition is to feel confident and easy when going over a jump. If I say my desire is to feel confident and easy when going over a jump, then the image I've just put in everybody's head, most importantly my own, is feeling confident and easy when going over a jump. If I say I want to not feel sick when going over a jump, the image that's in everybody's head is me feeling sick when going over a jump. We've got to watch the way that we talk. It's like saying, if I said my ambition is to go for a ride in the woods without worrying that tarantulas are going to drop onto my helmet, slide down, catch themselves on the fabric underneath, and then crawl into my mouth. What image have you got? Have you got the image of me comfortably riding around in the woods? No. Even though I said not, makes no difference. I want to ride in the woods so confidently that I'm not sick with fear, with my trousers filling with body effluence and running into my boots. Have you got a picture of me riding confidently through the woods? No. I'll leave you with that image. I think that's a good one to finish on. Bye. Thanks for coming. When I've sorted out the Enjoy Your Horse Club, then make sure that you join. Okay, I'll leave you with that image. See you later.